Hey guys, this is Czar, your fourth decade trader and mental game specialist. Let me ask you a question. Do you ever find yourself adding to a losing trade? I'm guessing the answer is yes, even if just sometimes. Well, why don't we talk about that for a little bit? When you add to a losing trade, you can sometimes get yourself out of a bad situation with a break-even outcome, and sometimes you might even come out with a nice profit. The truth is, adding to a losing trade will work out just fine more often than not. And this is why adding to losers can be such a compelling temptation. There will be plenty of positive reinforcement events to firmly install this behavior in your trading. Adding to losers is dangerous and addictive because it will actually get you out of trouble most of the time. But some of the time it fails, and when it fails badly. And that one loss is often catastrophic. When adding to a losing trade fails, the loss may be so damaging that it will typically erase the benefits of all of the times that it worked in the recent past. In fact, each failed attempt in adding to a loser will almost always destroy even more wealth than was ever accumulated on the combined winning attempts. In some cases, the practice of adding to a losing trade will destroy so much additional wealth and confidence that it will be nearly impossible to rebuild it. The only conceptual benefit that may come from adding to a loser is the momentary preservation of your pride and self-esteem when it happens to get you out of a hole that you dug for yourself in the first place. But ultimately, the practice of adding to a losing trade is a net catastrophe to trading profits, and should never be permitted at any point during the trading session or on any time frame. Now, I want to make something very clear. I'm not referring to those few traders who have developed some sort of a well-structured hedging strategy that has been back-tested and proven to work. There are clearly very specific circumstances where adding during a drawdown can provide benefits. But this is not why most traders find themselves adding to a loser. For the vast majority of traders, even the idea of adding to a losing trade should be framed as the most ridiculous concept imaginable. It should be viewed as nothing short of insanity. Adding to a losing trade is like driving a car down a highway wearing a blindfold, and then pushing the gas pedal harder and harder as you fly down the road at ever-increasing speeds. You simply would never dream of doing that under any circumstances. Adding to a losing trade is a desperate act of denying the fact that you're out of sync with the market in this moment. It's a desperate attempt at manufacturing hope in the face of perceived failure. Even a small loss can feel like a devastating failure to us, so we're tempted to go to insane measures to avoid the feeling of failure. Most traders lose because they become hopeful when they should be afraid, and they become afraid when they should be hopeful. In other words, 95% of traders manufacture a sense of hope when they're in a drawdown, as they begin hoping it will come back to their entry price. Now, part of this hoping process may include adding to the losing position in order to increase the odds of making it out alive and with their self-esteem intact. On the other side of that equation, that same trader will experience fear when they're in profits, because they begin fearing that the market will take the profits away. These misplaced emotions of hope and fear cause the 95% of traders to justify adding to and holding onto losing trades and taking profits early on winning trades. The secret to successful trading is not found in more market education. It's found deep inside of the mind. Trading is a game of impulse control. Masterful trading goes against every piece of your DNA. Masterful trading requires you to be in constant conflict with your evolutionary self. You will need to learn to overcome your hatred of taking losses and learn to accept and even welcome emotional discomfort and pain. Your subconscious mind will try to protect you from a loss at all costs, and you will have no control over the signaling of those natural impulses. We are wired to be terrified of losses, and to run from them in fear, even if the loss hasn't happened yet. Even a potential loss will create that fear. As a result, we will do almost anything to end the pain of a real or an imagined loss. The brain doesn't understand the difference and doesn't really care. We humans would much rather add to a losing trade and make the risk even bigger than take the certain small loss, because a loss is extremely painful on an emotional level. A loss of any size feels like something only a loser would do. The neurological meaning to us is this: if I take a loss, then I am a loser, and that is a problem. When we are in a winning trade, we have other problems. We would much rather take a small, guaranteed profit now, if it means avoiding any size loss at a later time. All losses are painful to the human psyche, and that psyche will jump at the chance to put that trade into the win column, even if the dollar value of the win is tiny. A win is a win, and it feels like sweet victory. And victories are what we live for. Victories are what we are wired for. The problem is, a trader will not be successful taking small or measured wins, while also taking full or outsized losses. The math simply doesn't work. To be successful at trading, the trader must do the opposite of their temptation impulses when they experience the emotional pain signals that come with trading each and every day. They must turn the script upside down on those emotional pain signals and embrace the pain. They must acknowledge that the pain is real, and they must admit that they feel the pain, but that pain of a potential loss must be flipped into a resourceful response. The successful trader adds to his winning trades and subtracts from his losing trades. This is the opposite of what the majority do, and the majority lose at this game. Add to winning trades only, never to a losing trade. Are you willing to operate like this in your trading? It will be one of the hardest things you will ever do, but the rewards will astound you. This is Czar. Welcome to the Razor's Edge. This is the real game.